Woo! Super hot. Today we're going to be making a jalapeno cheese sausage. Going to throw in a little beer for an extra little kick. We're going to be using Cabelas Jalapeno Popper seasoning packet and some Chihuahua Queso cheese. For our meat today, we're going to be using 3 pounds of chunked up pork butt and 2 pounds of chunked up chuck roast. We're going to blend these together. The sausage is going to be tasty. But first, before we grind, we have to put this in the freezer for about 45 minutes to an hour just to let this meat get nice and cold. We want it to be around 30 degrees before we start to grind it. Because every sausage needs some liquid in it, we are going to be using beer for this one. We are going to be using a Mexican lager. It is Del Rey Mexican lager from a local brewery near me called Mill Creek. They make some really good stuff. If you're in the Middle Tennessee area, check them out. Here we have the seasoning packet. This is enough to season 5 pounds of meat. I have added in 0.25% of curing salt because we will be cold smoking these. Curing salt is a must. All I added was 0.25% of cure number 1. And to help with the bind on our sausage, I am going with 3% of non-fat dry milk powder. We're going to put this in here. We're going to mix it all together so the spices can get evenly distributed all across the meat once we have it blended. All mixed up, let's get to grinding. 1 hour later, we have our meat nice and chilled. I've had the grinder parts in the freezer for most of the day. It is crucial for grinding sausage. Everything needs to stay super cold. So keep your grinder parts in the freezer, nice and chilled. All ground up. Fat's not smeared, nice little pebbles of fat scattered throughout. Got our seasoning blend all mixed up. Let's go ahead and get it in. You don't have to add your spices into the liquid. I sometimes add the dry spices in and then add the liquid after the fact, but just trying things out, see what I like. There's always new ways to do things. So we are going to blend this until it gets nice and tacky. And it is cold. Oh my goodness, cold. Got everything nice and tacky. Sticking to my glove so I know it is ready to stuff. Almost forgot, got to add in my cheese. This is 1 block of the Chihuahua cheese. It is just shy of 9 ounces. So we're going to add this in, get it mixed in, and then we will stuff. Taking the meat, going to push it down in the canister. Make sure there's no air pockets in here. As soon as you put it in, kind of pack it down. Meat's all in. Got the horn on. Want to bring the meat out to the end of the horn here. There we are. We're using all natural hog casings today. These are 32 to 35 millimeter. You're going to want to open the end of this up. Get your fingers down in it. Like that. And you want to run some water through it. So you can see there is this water in here. So we're going to run it through. That's going to clean out, not only clean out the inside of the casing, we're going to make sure we don't have any holes in our casing. And it will help this go on smoother onto the horn. Slide this on. And I'll be straight up with you. It's easier to do this without gloves on. I'm going to push it forward. Going to tie this off. Just a simple balloon knot. There we go. Pull it up. Get yourself a sausage pricker. I use a corn holder. And you're going to poke a couple of holes in the end here, just to let some air escape. Move this on. Make sure your casing is sliding real easy. And you start the case. Just want a tiny bit of resistance on the horn because it will be real thin otherwise. There we go. Getting close to the end of the casing, so we're going to go ahead and pull this off. We're going to kind of wind this up, set it to the side, and we're going to keep going. Once I get these all cased up, I'll bring you right back. Got everything linked up. I have some markings on my tray here for a 6-inch or a 7-inch link. We're going to go 6-inch links today. So we're going to take this, going to measure out 6 inches and pinch. Then we're going to go one more time, pinch, and then we're going to start rolling this forward. Until you get them nice and taut. Got them all linked up. Going to go around with our sausage pricker and we're going to punch the casings. If there's any air pockets in here, it's just going to help the casing draw up closer to the meat. All done. These need time to dry out. So what I'm going to do is put them in my refrigerator overnight, and then tomorrow morning we are going to throw them on the smoker, get some cold smoke going on them, and these things are going to be awesome. These have sat in the refrigerator overnight. The casings are nice and dry. We're going to put them on here on these elevated racks. Try to keep these weenies as clean as we can. I'm going to let these ride for about an hour and a half in the 100, 120 degree temperature range. I know I said a cold smoke, a traditional cold smoke is somewhere 80 to 100 degrees. But for our purposes here, I'm referring to this as a cold smoke. So we're going to let these casings dry out for about an hour and a half, and then I'm going to come out and I'm going to snip them apart. We're going to flip them over, get some nice smoke on both sides. Want to keep this fire nice and smoky. This is where dirty smoke is your friend. Normally dirty smoke when you're cooking barbecue is no good. But for this purpose, dirty smoke, low temps, and let it ride. It's been an hour and a half, so let's take a look and see where we are. Getting some nice color on these. Oh, one tiny blowout. Gonna maintain temps. We've settled in right around 125 degrees. Gonna let it ride for another hour and a half, then we'll bump temps up. To finish these off, we've got to bring them up to about 150 degrees before we're ready to throw them in an ice bath and shock the casings. Oh yeah, looking good. Got some nice color on these. So I've got a probe in here. We're going to be monitoring the internal temp of these sausages. Once we hit 150 degrees, we are going to take them out, throw them in an ice bath, which will stop the cooking process, and it will also seize those casings up tighter against the meat, and it should produce a very snappy, nice casing. The reason for pulling these off at 150 degrees is you don't want fat to start rendering. So we've stopped the cooking process with the ice bath. Once they come down in temp to about 90 degrees, we're going to take a couple of them out. We're going to put them back on the pit, cook them till they hit 165, and then we're going to break into these things and see how they are. Looking good, nice and firm. It's got a nice shine to it. Let's see how it tastes. Woo! Super hot. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh, cheese works really well in it. The jalapeno is kind of punching through. Wow. Definitely getting the beer that I added in too. Man, this is awesome. This is great. Snappy casing. Dude, this is fantastic. Wow. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, consider giving me a like, a subscribe, or drop me a comment. I would greatly appreciate it. Every time you do that, it helps to push me out to just a few more people. So help me to continue to spread the word. And with that, get up, go out, cook some good food, be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today, and I'll catch you next time.